Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoy these videos, please be sure to click like and subscribe. And if you click the little bell, you'll be notified when I upload future videos. I want to talk about the Georgia Guidestones. It's a complete mystery to this day. This story begins in June of 1979 when a man using a pseudonym, Robert C. Christian, approached the Alberton Granite Finishing Company on behalf of a small group of loyal Americans and commissioned the structure. Christian explained that the stones would function as a compass, calendar, and a clock and should be capable of withstanding catastrophic events. Joe Fenley of Alberton Granite assumed that Christian was a nut and attempted to discourage him by giving him a quote several times higher than any project the company had taken, explaining that the Guidestones would require additional tools and consultants. Christian accepted the quote. When arranging payment, Christian explained that he represents a group which has been planning the Guidestones for 20 years and which intended to remain anonymous. So here you have it. The author, of course, is R.C. Christian, which is most likely a group because he said it represents a group. So this is a group. It says here a small group of Americans who seek the age of reason. So that's what's on there. And the inscription says, "Let these be guidestones to an age of reason." So the age of reason is from 1685 to 1815, approximately called the Age of Reason in France, England. It was characterized by critical approach to religious and social and philosophical matters. So this is kind of an interesting age. And this also, I want to say that they wanted to include quite a few languages in here. So the Guidestones are in Spanish, these 10 commandments, in Spanish, English, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, and traditional Chinese and Russian. So there are there's astronomic features, the astrology piece of it. There's a channel through the stone that indicates the celestial pole, which is the North Star. The second is the horizontal slot, which indicates the travel of the sun. So that would be there. And this is going to be so interesting to pull cards on this. And 3, the sunbeam through the capstone marks the noontime, so 12 noon throughout the year when the sun is shining. It shines through a little hole in the top. So I found that to be quite interesting. So let's go to these commandments. There's the soul state. Oh, I wanted to mention there's a time capsule, but to be opened on, and the date is not there. There's no date. So here's another view of what the astrological features of it are, and I wanted to give you that. So let's focus for a moment on these allegedly 10 concepts. I don't know what to call them. So maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. You're going to see nature come up again. The current population on the planet is about 7.8 billion as of February 2020. So that's where we are now, and they are indicating to maintain humanity at a much lower rate. The guide, reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts, let all nations rule intentionally, resolving external disputes in a world court, avoid petty laws and useless officials, balance personal rights with social duties, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Now that's interesting that they're using the word infinite, which I find to be that I'm focused on that. I don't know why. I'll just pay attention to that, infinite. Be not a Cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Now they had to put that in there twice. Very, very strange. So I would like to ask the cards at this point. I have quite a few tarot decks, and I can grab from. I can grab most of them. All right. What I want to ask first is the group RC Christian? Are they Freemasons? Is the group RC Christian? Are they Freemasons? Queen of Cups. I like that card, the Queen of Cups. Wouldn't it be nice if it was a woman's group? And the Empress. Look at that. Wouldn't that be something? You know, most of the societies are male driven. Like my next question was going to be Rosicrucians, but this is feminine. This is the Empress. So this is kind of interesting that there's some kind of feministic influence on this. And so this does tell me, the Ace of Pentacles, that this is, oh, I bet I know why. So this is Freemasons because of the Ace. I'll just put this over here. Because of the Ace of Pentacles. I want to go back to those 10, what I call 10 commandments. There's maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. So this is going to be interesting because that would influence. The Empress can be childbirth and the Queen of Cups. So this could be controlling fertility with the women. But this Ace of Cups or Ace of Pentacles tells me that it is Masonic or some order close to Masonic. So here we are with the Seven of Pentacles, limiting things, limiting resources. It's a time of limitation. So I feel like this was a Masonic group only because they follow the Star of the East. And I also, if you look up Elbert County, it has a vast amount of pyramid blue granite. They have granite places everywhere down there. The metaphysical properties of granite is it stabilizes energy fields. The Aboriginals and Mayan cultures accepted it as a tremendous healing ability to the buildings that they were on. Now, Elbert County sits on the eastern edge of the continent. And this is magical to the Masons because the sun rises in the east. And of course, they've got summer solstice as part of their astronomical part of this. So this is pretty fascinating to me. Or it just, to me, it screams Freemasons everywhere. So I also want to ask, what is the main purpose of the Guidestones? This will be really interesting. Like for 20 years they planned this out. What is the purpose of these Guidestones? I just want to know. So this is the wheel. And so this is the Wheel of Fortune. So it's big changes. So there must be some expectation or knowledge of some kind of big event happening, a big shift, a big change. That's the Wheel of Fortune. And oh, there you have the Knights. The Knights headed toward the big change. Makes me wonder if they're going to create this big change. You know, are they going to do everything by the books? Are they going to do everything according to their laws? Like, are they going to generate this something on on the planet makes you wonder, but they are definitely showing up. This is, oh wow, this is the moon card. I want to point out the large structure and look at the hole at the top. Remember I told you the hole at noon, the sun shines through that hole, if the sun is out that day, onto the ground. So they're very interested in the sun and the astrological features of this. This is deception. The moon's deception. So something about the Guidestones, and I do want to tell you that I believe that people have caught on that they don't like this because there is so much vandalism that is done to these Guidestones. So I think people had a really bad taste. And of course, here's the moon, deceptions with these big stones. These actually do look like the Guidestones. And this is a warning. This is the sun with the moon inside of it. This is deception. So what's happening with these Guidestones? This is getting very interesting. They're trying to take control. So they're trying to control it through their spiritual teachings. It's almost like their spiritual teachings, they want to gain control. They want to gain control. We'll just keep going for this deck. Oh my gosh, what do we have here? This is not good. So either they're predicting a massive death on the planet, or just in case there happens to be a massive death on the planet, that humanity can somehow will in the rubble find the Guidestones because they had indicated that it will withstand catastrophic events. So what do they think catastrophically is going to happen? And that people will suddenly find these Guidestones and think that that's going to be how they operate the new earth, right? That's really interesting. I'm not judging, I'm trying to be neutral, but it is very interesting. And it's not finished yet. It's I feel like there's a hidden side. So we see the Guidestones, right? Interestingly enough, it's in 8 languages, and this is the 8 of Wands. I feel like we don't know part of it. There's a missing piece. So we're only being given one certain piece of it, but there's another half off the card. And what does that have to do with? What are we missing that we need to know from these Guidestones? Okay, this is control, the Emperor. The Emperor wants to take control over the planet. I believe that they're wanting like world control. Now, in a lot of the cards, the Emperor has different symbols depending on which cards or which decks that you use. But no matter which one, he is the ruler. So the Guidestone creators are, whoever that group is, they want to rule. Now, the Emperor doesn't just rule a small area. He rules like a whole country or whatever. But this, I feel like, is world rulership. Like a world rulership. That's what I'm going to just call it. It's interesting how the cards are telling the story here. Oh, speak of the devil. Literally, this is the cards are being so clear. They're being so crystal clear. You can't even get any clearer than this. Ruling the world. So I was just talking about emperors ruling countries. No, world. They want to rule the world. They want to control everything that goes on in the planet. There's a scarf, and it's wrapped around her leg. I think the Freemasons do something like that. I think they put a blindfold on. This is headed around her head, and it's wrapped around a leg. This could be a further hint that this is Masonic, because the blindfold and wrap around the leg, ruling the world. So is it possible, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I have to put this in here. It's for entertainment purposes only. But could it be possible that the Masons or whatever group, I'm theorizing that it's the Masons, want to rule the world? We'll keep going with this. They're interested in the Star of the East. Boy, you can't get any clearer than this. I'm serious. Wow. The cards, this is one of the things about the cards that I'm so impressed with, because they can be so clear. And what I'm searching now is, I believe that they worship the Star of the East. Yes, there is an Eastern Star, Order of the Eastern Star, Masonic. Oh my gosh. This is completely fascinating to me. All right, so there you have it. So one of the things that I want to also talk about is when you have ruling the world and they worship the star, and look how big the star is in the middle, and they've got an astrological significance in this, stone. It's really fascinating to me. The big star, and one of the things is the star on the inscription. Let me see if I can find that again. The Age of Reason. The channel through the stone indicates celestial pole, which is the North Star. Yeah, I think that the cards are being very clear. So I want to switch to another deck, and it's really interesting. I'm going to switch to a different deck, and I'm going to ask, should people be concerned about this? Do we need to be concerned about the Georgia Guidestones? So this is the angels stepping in. The angels, I feel like the angels are stepping in. Somebody's stepping in. Wouldn't that be nice? I feel like the angels, the higher realms, are stepping in. Let's keep going with this. What are they stepping into? Wow. So there is going to be, so this is a duality. This is like kind of a battle of willpower. It's a willpower, and this is interesting that he's playing a harp. And then we've got the stars again. We've got to focus on the stars. These are all major cards. Should people be concerned? I feel like there's higher level. These are all major cards. And then we got the sun and the moon again. We had the sun and the moon in the first layout that we did. And this is the Lovers, about choices and balance. And you know what, you guys? I just really want to say that I have a comfort level that these three cards came up, because I think that there is divine protection somehow. Let's just keep going with the theme of, do we need to be concerned about this? So there's the Eight of Cups is detaching from a situation, leaving a situation. I feel he's going for a higher view. So this is a pattern of, this could be people wanting to get away, suffering. It could be that if they gain too much control and start their agenda, people could suffer. So I feel like these cards are telling us that there's some money behind this. There's money handed out. There's some money behind this. There's a pattern or a plan. I don't like it. I don't think it's going to be good for humanity. But we are getting higher. We're headed for a higher place, a higher vision. The Age of Reason is all kind of a theme of enlightenment. It is very interesting. Thomas Paine wrote The Age of Reason, and he was a Freemason. So I find that there's too many hints in here for us to ignore. So are the Georgia Guidestones, I want to ask if they are some kind of a program. Is there Is the language in there some kind of program to program humanity? I'm just, I'm just asking, like a form of, I guess what I'm asking is it a form of mind control? Is the Georgia Guidestones some kind of form of mind control? The Four of Cups, well, that's emotional, but I'm not, that's structured emotions. So I'm not really getting that from these two cards. So it's this group that really worships the sun, like sun worshipers or whatever. The sun card, I don't really feel like that is mind control with those two cards. But there we have the Queen of Cups showing up again. There's a feminine aspect to this. There's going to be women, and I feel like the women part of it is what we don't know. I feel like the Queen of Cups, maybe there's a breeding program, like maybe they'll only let certain people, certain women have a certain amount of children because of that, that rule of how many people they want on the earth. And so women are going to be impacted by this. And then here's the Knights again. So it's becoming pretty clear that this is the Knights Templar, and they are wanting to somehow have an effect on the planet with those Eight of Wands. Remember the Eight of Wands showing up before with these 10 commandments. Maintain humanity. Well, how do they do that? Through women. Women bear children. Oh, second one, guide reproductions. Thank you. Why did I miss that? Guide reproduction. That's why the Queen keeps coming up to say, Melanie, pay attention to the Queen. They're going to guide reproduction wisely. So it literally could be that women are just like the baby factory for their super race or whatever it is they're trying to do. That is very interesting. And unite humanity with a living new language. I'm not sure what language they would choose. So this is going to be interesting. So what is their plan going forward? Are they aware of a catastrophe that's going to happen on the planet? Are this group that built the Guidestones, are they aware of a catastrophe that's going to happen on the earth? This will be an interesting card. Yes. See, I have an agreement with my tarot cards. Whenever a question can be answered with a yes, I need an ace. So yes, all right. Are they going to, I mean, you can, they might have psychics that are predicting it. Is this just something that they have psychically, see, like a big flood, a great flood? Or are they actually causing this? Are they actually going to cause this disaster? Or is it going to be natural earth-based disaster? This makes me a little nervous to pull this card and ask this question. It's a 10 of Wands. It's under their control. Some of it. I feel like a lot of heat. There's a lot of fire back here. I'm going to pull one more card just to get a third kind of okay, so it's a combination of things. So I think that they intuitively feel like this is a card where actually normally this is up in the sky, but there's a whole lot of water in the bottom of this card, which is not normal in the normal Seven of Cups. But I think that they see, it's a combination, that they see something coming with water. There's water here, and then there's great fires. So it could be that we're going to have so many natural disasters, and that also that they're going to want to take control then when the planet is, or the people on the planet maybe are in a weaker state. What do we have to know about this going forward? I don't like fear-based videos. Oh my gosh, we've got the Queen again. Women really got, okay, Queens, all of you women out there, we got to wake up to this. We just don't want to be told about our reproduction things. That would be interesting. Maybe I should ask that question. I'm going to switch to a different deck. Are they out to control women through reproduction? Are they trying to control reproduction through women? Be the only, oh gosh. So they want to break down our current system. And that's the children. Control the children that are born, the children, which would be the women. So indirectly, it's the children. They're controlling what children are going to come. Wow, they want a total breakdown of the system. When I imagine you'd have to have that in order to have control of the planet. I'm just trying to think if I'm missing any questions. I'm just going to pull one last set of cards and say, what do we have to do? Is there anything we have to prepare for? Are those guide stones, you know, is there anything that we have to prepare for? If I get the Queen of Cups one more time, I'm just going to have to meditate on this card. They are really trying to get the attention of women. The cards are trying to really tell us to pay attention to women. What is this card? The universe, the world. This is the world. They're entangled. They're entangled. She's entangled. Look at her hands. This is fascinating. There's an eagle, and it looks like a Native American at the top, or some bird. Maybe that's a raven. What are the hands doing? There's some kind of a DNA. I get the word DNA with that. DNA or cells or something with DNA and cells. That's what I'm feeling. And we end with the moon of deception. So the women need to pay attention. They've got to pay attention. There's something going on. I feel like this is DNA or cellular structures, and this is deception. So I think that the Georgia Guidestones, I don't feel like that's a good thing, to tell you the truth. That's just my opinion, which I rarely give on here. I just try to read the cards. But when you pull the moon card, I'm just not feeling good about these Georgia Guidestones. I have one last question. Because the Freemasons are all into numbers and things like that. So I want to ask my deck, is there anything that can be done to counter what's being planned? Is there anything that can be done to stop it, prevent it from happening? Is there anything that can be done? Learn, study. That's the page. Study. Learn about it. Stay focused on it. Stay up to date. And there's the Queen, the women, and she's the intuitive queen. Tap in intuitively. Black magic. This black cats remind me of black dark magic. Dark magic. Wow, sometimes these readings, I'm just sitting here with my mouth open going, where are we going? You never know, and there's control. All right, so stay focused on it. There's black magic or dark magic going on. I don't know. I can't stop staring at that black cat. And controlling. They want to control the world. Watch for the signs. I think the women are going to be the ones that are going to prevent this. I mean, I have to be honest with you. I just keep pulling these queens. I think the women, the intuitive women, because she's the wands, I think the intuitive women on the planet, the light workers, whatever you want to call the intuitive women, all women, they're going to, and it's interesting that we have the child and the woman and the controller. Oh my goodness. Well, this has certainly been interesting. Do you have any thoughts about the Georgia Guidestones yourself after you watch this, or maybe you know something personal about it? I would appreciate it if you would share your information of what you have and your thoughts and see what you think, because this is really interesting to me. I don't think this is a good thing. I think they're giving us hints of something coming in the future, and I think that it's time for us to wake up. That's what I feel like. All right, thank you for being on my channel.